Do you want to feel better, have more energy, and be your best and healthiest self? We want the same for you, and that's why your friends at the Total You Show are connecting with top industry experts to deliver the best information to you right where you are. Please welcome your host from the Total You Show.
Hey guys, it's Linda Bailey with the Total You Show. This is Season 3, Episode 2, and Part 4 of our series on blood sugar. So in our last episode, I talked about 3 ways you can affect your blood sugar. And just to recap that, they are drink more water, evaluate your protein sources, and add healthy fat. So now I'm going to share another way that is so doable and all under your control that can help balance blood sugar. So you're going to want to fully listen to this episode because we'll discuss something called the magic plate and how that can help you make better food choices no matter where you are eating. It talks about portions, but also macronutrients. So stay tuned. I'm getting there. But the 4th way to affect blood sugar is to look at your food quality. This means count chemicals, not calories. So what we want to do is choose foods that are as close to organic, locally or seasonally grown, and non-processed as we possibly can. So an example of a highly processed food is a Twinkie. So it's very unrealistic to say, don't eat any unprocessed foods 100% of the time. We're not looking to be perfect here. We're just taking the steps to move away from highly processed food and make higher quality food choices. That's all. We don't want to make big changes too fast or else we backslide. So just be consciously aware of trying to choose foods that are closer to the ones we would find grown at a local farm, instead of something that's in a can that's full of chemicals and preservatives and meant to just sit on a shelf for weeks or months at a time. Those are not good choices. However, I know periodically we pick those, and that's fine. We're just trying to move a step closer to that local organic farm type food. So one way to evaluate your food choices is to look at the ingredient list on the food label. And I know you guys have probably heard about this, so we're not going to spend tons of time on it, but the ingredients are listed in the order of most to least. So the first ingredients are what's mostly in that product down to the least. So some things to stay away from on those labels include dextrose. That's a simple sugar, and it can spike your blood sugar, and that's something we're trying to not do because of the stress on the body. Artificial flavors, those are 100% man-made, but even natural flavorings has preservatives and solvents and things that our bodies really don't need. So just find the foods that are closer to fewer chemicals and preservatives. And let's take an example. So again, we're trying to be as healthy as we can, but I'm also trying to be realistic. We're not going to go 100% of the time not eating chips or cookies or cakes or something like that. So in my example, let's just talk about potato chips. So let's try to find the healthiest version of potato chips. So let's look at Pringles versus Kettle Chips, Kettle brand. On the Pringles label, you may see dried potatoes, vegetable oil, rice flour, wheat starch, maltodextrin, mono and diglycerides, salt, and dextrose. The Kettle brand, which it says on the label it's non-GMO verified, you get potatoes, safflower oil, and sea salt. So Pringles has 9 ingredients. The Kettle brand has 3. So just hearing that, knowing they're both potato chips, which is better? I think you can pretty much tell Kettle would be the best choice in that situation. So again, you don't want to eat chips all the time, but when you do, it's all about finding the highest quality version. Again, just moving 1% closer to that ideal. And it's about increasing the quality of your food. So again, favor the organic foods, the fewer ingredients, or ones that are not loaded with the chemicals and preservatives. Just on a side note, these chemicals and preservatives and things in our foods can really get in and alter hormones in the body and affect you in a negative way. So we discussed balancing blood sugar in our last episode by including more protein. And we need to look at macronutrients and our ratio of protein to carbs to fats. So we need to have the right balance of these for each meal or snack. So if you can focus on having the right ratio of protein to carbs to fats for every meal or snack, it stabilizes blood sugar. So if you have caffeine or sugar, adding a protein, fat, and fiber will actually slow the absorption of it. So you'll be less likely to go on the blood sugar roller coaster, which is what we talked about last time, and as we now know is very stressful on the body. So balancing your macronutrients helps with cravings. And again, the magic plate is what we're trying to strive towards. So for those of you who are doing our Total You Challenge right now, thank you very much. You guys are doing a great job. This is what next week's challenge is all about, the magic plate. So you guys will be getting a separate email which outlines all of this. You'll have a list of different really good protein, carbohydrate, and fat sources. So you can just look through those and just kind of, for the next 7 days, decide which ones you're going to try. So when you make sure your meals are balanced, it can help with better digestion, give you more energy, and maybe even some water weight comes off so you could actually experience weight loss too. So literally balancing your meals in this way is just making sure you're getting the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats each meal in the right combination. So again, there's a template that I'm going to put in the notes above. And you want to make sure you have a high quality protein, high quality fat, and high quality carbohydrate. So again, refer to that template above and just try it for a week. See how you feel. You can be flexible with it. I'm also going to share the link What to Eat cheat sheet so you can see the list and look to see what the right balance on the magic plate is, and just do that again for 7 days. And we really would like to know how you're feeling after that. But the good thing about the magic plate is you can do it anywhere. You can do it at home, if you're ordering food at a restaurant, anytime you get takeout. It's just a good way to not only make sure you're getting what you need each meal, but also making sure your portion sizes are again in check. Because when you go out to eat, usually the portion sizes are way bigger or more than what's required. And this simple concept of a magic plate will allow you to eat what you need and possibly even take half of it to go to eat for another meal. So this process could save you some money, some time not having to fix or prep another meal, help you get healthier, and maybe even help you lose weight. So what have you got to lose? Just try it. But let's talk about portion size. There is a link, again, that shows what that magic plate looks like. And you can see in that about a third of the plate is protein. And if that's hard to imagine, again, for women, just look at the palm of your hand, and that's about as much as you need per meal. That's about 4 to 6 ounces. Men need 6 to 8. And one more thing to keep in mind is to only eat until you're satisfied. So this is a big one. If you eat and overstuff yourself, you really come away not feeling satisfied. You're bloated, you're full, you just kind of feel miserable. So just take your time with your meal, chew your food, really see if you can make each meal last 20 minutes. Set your fork down between bites. Breathe. I'll throw in another fact. You may or may not have heard of this before, but did you know it takes your body about 20 minutes to send out the signal that it's full? And if that's the case, if you're scarfing down your food, you're not giving your body a chance to even feel like it's full, so you continue to eat more than you should. So again, if you can just try to do what you can, stretch it out a little bit longer each time. Just work your way to that 20-minute threshold and just give it a try. See if you notice your body's signal to stop eating. And then lastly, if you eat until you're about 80% full, then you're going to have energy. You're going to feel better after a meal and not like you're in a food coma. So think about all the food that you get to eat and not about, what processed foods that you're not able to eat. Again, just make the best choice for you. And I'm not saying go out and drink a Coke with a meal every day, but if you choose to drink that Coke, do it paired with, say, a bowl of beef and kale chili or something like that, instead of just like a salad and a Coke, for instance. So in that example, can you tell on your own what the better option is and why? So let's think about that. Option 1 is a Coke with a Greek salad, and option 2 is a Coke and a bowl of beef and kale chili. So think about the magic plate. What is option 1 missing? Maybe a protein? Maybe some carbs. The fat will be in the dressing. And then option 2, you have protein, fats, and carbs. A balanced meal. And what happens when our meal is balanced? Yeah, we feel better. So notice, even though in that example the person is drinking a Coke, which does have sugar, it has caffeine, and more, because it's combined with the right macronutrients, the proteins, carbs, fats, it won't tend to send you onto that blood sugar roller coaster like the other option would. So again, we're looking for small improvements towards the more balanced, more organic choice. And let's take one more example. What if we had a long day at work and we get home, it's 7:30, you need to feed the dog, family, or whatever. You just want to do something quick, so you go for a bowl of cereal. So what could you do easily to get to the magic plate ratio? Well, maybe you have a smaller bowl of cereal and you add 2 chicken breakfast sausages on the side. Maybe you add some bell pepper slices and hummus. Or maybe you have some leftover salad with a little avocado or olive oil on it, and you're all set. So it doesn't take tons of effort here to get that magic plate in the right ratio. So hopefully you see that this is something you can do. It's in your control. It's not that hard. And maybe, bottom line, it helps you a lot with your blood sugar issues. So we've talked about a whole lot in this episode. First, we know now how to identify your high-quality foods. Again, use those references that I have above. Move closer to those high-quality foods, just a little step at a time, to the more organic whole foods and away from those highly processed foods. We also talked about looking at the food label, choosing foods with the fewer ingredients, so you have fewer chemicals in the body, so you feel better. And then lastly, we talked again about the macronutrient balance and using that magic plate for both the macronutrient balance and the portion control. So again, a lot thrown at you. Hopefully you are able to take this in, try it out, join us in the Total You Challenge, and hopefully you'll make some really positive choices and affect your energy level and become more healthy as well. So that is it for this episode. Stay tuned. We're going to go through even more ways to affect your blood sugar in the upcoming episodes. So until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye, everybody.
That's all for this episode of The Total You Show. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, podcast, follow us on social media, and tune in to next week's episode. Helping you achieve the healthiest version of you, that's Total You.